A fragrance that's supposed to smell like a summer storm. This is the brand new Kile by Source Adage. I'm going to be telling you all about this fragrance in just a second, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Kile by Source Adage, this is a brand that I've covered on the channel. I initially discovered them several years back. I've done many reviews from this brand, and this is the one that just came out. I'm going to read you the little blurb on the back of this box here, but before I start the video, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and please give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So, just to read through this very quickly, it says, originating from the Yawalmani dialect of Central California meaning cloud, Kile is a unique atmospheric scent inspired by a summer storm. I think that's pretty cool. It says white florals, damp earth, and electrically charged ozonic accords contrast freshness with density with silver fir, citrus, fern, jasmine sambac, lavender, coriander, rosemary, black pepper, sueterol, and mineral-rich earth notes. So the impression that I'm going to get is that this is going to be an earthy and floral composition, and that it is. As a matter of fact, when I initially smelled it, I thought to myself, if there's not soil tincture in this, there has to be this aroma molecule known as geosmin, which can make fragrances smell like soil or earth. It can make them smell a little dirty in a literal way, not in an unclean way. And that's what I'm getting from this one, but it has this ozonic accord and it has these floral ingredients in here as well, namely the jasmine, which is not indolic. And so it's a really interesting composition, smells like nothing else I've ever tried. I'll tell you about the smell in just a little while. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, kind of like what I said before, you know, petrichor is a smell that you get when it freshly rains, right? And you smell the, you know, the damp earth, and it's just a beautiful smell, right? For a lot of people, it can be nostalgic. It can put them in a certain mood. And I am getting this wet earth vibe from this fragrance. So indeed, it is reminiscent of a summer storm. And I am getting this earthy texture about it that seems to be quite enduring, right? So this one, for as long as I've been smelling it, it retains that earthy property, doesn't really go away, doesn't vanish, right? It lingers for a long time to come. And so if you like earthy fragrances, you know, a la Bat by Zoologist, those types of fragrances, you're going to find something here that I think you'll really enjoy. So it has this earthy appeal to it. The coriander is actually quite fresh in my opinion. Yes, there's jasmine. The other earthy ingredients, the fir and the fern, you know, I've encountered fern in fragrances like Bracken for Men by Amouage. This one isn't overly green. It's more earthy in a soil type of a way than it is green. And of course, it also has the sueterol, the black pepper. So you're like, okay, is this going to smell, you know, a bit spicy or leathery? And perhaps a tad, but it still is kind of being drowned out, pardon the water pun, it is being drowned out by those earthy textures on account of the soil touch that's in here. So this is a really interesting fragrance. This is the type of fragrance that I want to wear if I'm being pensive, if I'm ruminating something, if I'm introspecting, if I'm meditating. It kind of puts me in that frame of mind, and I think it's a really beautiful composition. Now, as far as its functionality is concerned, I think this is more of an olfactory experience. This is a journey. This is an artistic expression. You know, I wouldn't say, oh, this is a huge compliment getting fragrance for the office and you can, like, I'm not going to say all that, but I think this is the type of fragrance where if you smell it and you fall in love with it, get it, right? Because it's going to trigger or, you know, make a light flicker within you that says, oh, this is really nice. This is really pretty. Or maybe it's going to activate some really fond memories. You know, I'm certainly hoping that's the case with this one for you, but I've smelled so many other fragrances by Source Adage, and one thing I can say that is pretty consistent among them all is that they are all really unique, really artistic, and really expressive. This is not a brand that follows trends. This is not a brand that creates fragrances that are reductive or they are reminiscent of other more popular designer or niche fragrances. They don't do that, right? They don't play that game. So with this one in particular, the fact that it does come across a little spicy, a little earthy, a little damp, a little green, I think it's a really interesting fragrance. And this is one where as soon as you smell it, you're like, oh yeah, it's that fragrance, right? So I hope you have the opportunity at the very least ways to sample it. I'm not sure if the brand has sampling options. If I do find any, I'm going to link them down below. They are not affiliate links, and this is not a sponsored video. I'm just doing it for your convenience, and I'm hoping that it helps someone out there, especially if you found my description of this fragrance to be helpful for you in any way. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, boy, this is a unique fragrance. Definitely smells like nothing else that I have in my collection. Overall smell, it's very pensive, very meditative, very transformative. It depends on what it activates within you. So I think you're gonna have to smell it for yourself to make that determination on a personal level. Longevity, 8 hours. Projection at an arm's length for the first 45 minutes of application. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 6, a skin scent right around hour 8, I'd say. In terms of the versatility, I think this one would be great for really any time of the year. Because of the good longevity, I can see somebody wearing this in the colder weather. Because of the floral tendencies that are in here, I can see this one being enjoyed in the hotter weather as well. I think this one is great for, you know, when you're kind of just doing your own thing, hanging out with friends. You're not going to wear this when you're clubbing. You're not going to wear this, you know, if you're going to, you know, a formal event or something like that. I typically prefer something with a bit more citrus. I find citrus to be very refined in fragrances. So again, I want to leave that up to you. Perfectly unisex. And I think this would cater to an older demographic and somebody who's a bit more experienced in dealing with niche fragrances, just because it is a bit more on the artistic and expressive side of things. Presentation, very simple. I do like the black bottles. I like the aesthetic of the brand. It says Adage on the side here. My final verdict on this fragrance is this is a work of art, right? So this is something where you smell it and it's going to do something for you, or perhaps it won't. I think every individual is different. We all employ our own idiosyncrasies and the things that, you know, kind of put us in certain frames of mind. So try it out. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like it. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video to its end. I really appreciate that if you made it this far. And if you took anything of value from today's episode, please do consider supporting the channel by clicking subscribe, hitting the bell, and giving this video a thumbs up. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.